Welcome to the Wellness Lab Digest, where we help you to absorb powerful, life-changing insights from top wellness experts with our daily, bite-sized wellness podcast summaries. Each episode is packed with distilled, powerful takeaways to boost your health and well-being. To support this podcast, please scroll down on whatever app you're listening on. Ratings and reviews are helpful. Even better, just send the show to a friend. Or check out our sponsors at the bottom of the page, or simply click the Support the Show link.
Hey everyone, ready to unlock some serious brain power.
Ooh, I like that.
Today we're all about igniting focus, confidence, even creativity. We've got some incredible insights from Dr. Jeff Karp.
You might have caught him on that Mel Robbins YouTube video. Talk about inspiring.
Absolutely, he's a total rock star in the medical world. Teaches at MIT and Harvard Medical School.
Yeah.
Runs this cutting-edge research lab.
And get this, he holds over 100 patents.
Seriously impressive. Right, but here's the thing that really grabbed me. He's taken all this scientific knowledge and created these practical tools anyone can use to tap into their hidden potential.
He calls them life ignition tools. Basically, they're all about making these intentional changes to kind of break free from those ruts. You know, the ones we all get stuck in.
Yeah, totally. Like running on autopilot, one of the things that really hit home for me was how routine can actually stifle creativity.
It's true.
Like as we get older, everything gets so predictable, you know.
Yeah.
But remember when you were a kid and everything felt new and exciting? That's what Dr. Karp's first tool, Do New, is all about. Bringing back that sense of wonder.
Absolutely. It's about shaking things up. You know, trying something different. It doesn't even have to be a huge change.
Right.
Like in the video, he surprised Mel Robbins with those rainbow prism glasses, just to shift her perspective a little bit and make her see things in a whole new way.
It's crazy how these small things can have such a big impact.
It's true.
Think about it. Recently, those northern lights were visible in some pretty unexpected places, right? And people were capturing these amazing photos with their phones just by looking at something familiar through a new lens.
Totally changes your view.
Yeah. So what if we all try something new today? Like, what could you do differently to shake up your routine and spark some of that childhood curiosity?
I love that. It gets you thinking. And it actually leads perfectly into another one of Dr. Karp's tools. Press pause.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Right. In our always-on world, taking breaks might seem counterintuitive, but it's actually crucial for processing information and tapping into our intuition.
It's like that aha moment after you step away from a problem, right? You're struggling with something, and you take a break, and suddenly the solution just pops into your head.
It happens all the time.
Happens to me all the time.
Dr. Karp was feeling super burned out from back-to-back meetings, so he started scheduling these short breaks. And he said it led to some major breakthroughs.
I bet. There's even science to back that up.
Yeah.
Dr. Molly Gurjian, a neuroscientist Dr. Karp interviewed, explained that our brains actually rewire and solidify learning during breaks.
Wow.
Not just when we're actively working on something.
Makes you think about how we structure our day.
Totally. It's like our brains need time to process and make sense of everything.
Yeah.
She also talked about something called the startle effect. This is so cool. When we take breaks, it actually helps us zero in on what we've forgotten.
Really?
And that can actually speed up the process of learning new skills.
So it's not just about resting, it's about being more effective.
Exactly. It's making your brain work better. So we're not just talking about like zoning out and watching cat videos. These are intentional pauses. And there's so many ways to incorporate them into your day.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like 5 minutes between meetings.
Definitely. Stepping away from your desk for a few minutes every hour.
Yeah, or even just pausing for a second before you respond in a conversation, you know?
Be more present.
Exactly. So my question to you listening is, where could you benefit from hitting the pause button today? Think about it.
Now, this next tool might be a bit of a tough one for some people. Practice.
Ugh.
I know, right? We all know it's essential for mastering any skill, but let's be honest, it can get pretty boring.
It can be a grind.
But that's where Dr. Karp's tool, Fall in Love with Practice, comes in. Instead of seeing it as a chore, he wants us to approach it as a journey of experimentation and self-discovery.
I like that reframing.
He talked to this guy, Nelson Dellis, a 5-time USA memory champion, and his secret to staying engaged during practice. Constantly introducing small variations and challenges.
Clever. Keeps things interesting and pushes him to improve.
Exactly. And I think what's so important here is finding a practice style that works for you. Like Mel Robbins, she discovered that her strength is in talking through ideas rather than writing them down.
Interesting.
It's about giving yourself permission to experiment and figuring out what helps you learn best.
Have you ever given up on something because the practice just felt way too tedious?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's time to think about how you can make it more enjoyable.
Yeah, more personalized. It could make a world of difference in what you're able to achieve.
Totally. Speaking of things that hold us back, let's talk about fear of failure.
Ooh, big one.
Big one.
Yeah.
So easy to let that fear hold us back, right?
Oh, absolutely.
But Dr. Karp, he's got a tool for that too. Focus beyond failure.
Okay, love this one.
And what I think is so cool is he's totally open about his own experiences with failure.
He's really putting it all out there.
Yeah, he talks about getting rejected from med schools.
Oof, I can't even imagine.
Getting booed off stage during a performance.
No, wait.
Even freezing during his TED Talk.
Well, it's brave.
I know, right? But that's what makes him so relatable. He doesn't shy away from those moments.
He owns them.
He embraces them, actually, as opportunities for growth.
Like it's not the end of the world.
Right. It's a stepping stone.
Yeah.
So instead of seeing failure as this dead end, he views it as part of the path to success.
It's a shift in perspective.
Totally. And it takes the pressure off of needing to be perfect all the time.
Which, let's be real, is impossible.
I know, right? So freeing. And he actually reframes the whole idea of failure. It's not about achieving success or avoiding failure. It's about committing to this continuous learning.
Always growing.
You got it. And that's where the real growth happens. That story about freezing during his TED Talk, though, oh my gosh.
It's so human.
I think we've all had those moments. Like you're about to speak in front of an audience and you just feel like you're going to bomb.
Oh, yeah, totally. Stage fright is real.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mel Robbins, gave him some really helpful advice for that whole speaking anxiety thing.
She did. She reminded him that the audience has no idea what he's supposed to say, so there's no need to put so much pressure on himself.
It's true. We build up in our heads so much.
And she also talked about vulnerability. Like, audiences connect with authenticity even when things don't go perfectly.
I think those are the moments people actually relate to the most.
It's almost like those imperfect moments make it more engaging.
It's real. So instead of getting caught up in the nervousness, what if you could reframe that energy as excitement?
Oh, that's a good one. Like flip the script. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about flip the switch.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt like you're just going through the motions?
Yeah, all the time.
Stuck in a rut, and you're not even sure how you got there.
The autopilot struggle is real.
This tool is all about breaking free from that, making a conscious choice to change.
Love it.
It's a 4-step process.
Okay, lay it on me.
And it starts with acknowledging you want things to be different.
You got to own that desire for change.
Exactly. You have to recognize that desire for possibility before you can actually make a change.
This is the first step.
Then you take stock of what's working and what's not. Identify your strengths, but also be honest with yourself about the areas where you might be holding yourself back.
Like a self-assessment.
And the next step is key. Consider other possibilities and ways of thinking.
Open your mind.
Yeah. This is where getting outside of your comfort zone and seeking out different perspectives is so powerful.
Gotta get out of that echo chamber.
Dr. Karp actually talked about how diversity is a superpower in his lab.
Interesting.
Because it allows his team to approach problems from so many different angles.
Makes sense. Leads to more creative and innovative solutions.
And finally, you take a deliberate step forward. It doesn't have to be this huge leap.
Small steps.
But it needs to be intentional. Even a small action can set you on this new path.
It's about momentum.
Dr. Karp illustrated this tool with a really powerful personal story. He talked about how he was so focused on efficiency in his work
I feel that.
that he ended up kind of neglecting his family.
Oof. Work-life balance struggle.
He was successful in one area of his life, but completely out of balance in another. It wasn't until the pandemic hit that he was kind of forced to press pause and really reevaluate his priorities.
The pandemic was a wake-up call for a lot of people.
It was. And for him, it was this realization that he needed to flip the switch. He started meditating, learned to observe his thoughts and emotions without getting swept away by them.
That's so important.
It helped him become more present in his interactions with his family and just more intentional in his actions.
So it's not just about making a change, it's about that awareness.
Yeah. So you can make choices that are aligned with your values. Now, I want to talk about a tool that I think could be super helpful for people who struggle with focus
Okay, hit me.
and distraction. Pinch your brain. This one is so simple, but so powerful. Dr. Karp's exercise is to choose any object and really focus your attention on it. Notice the colors, the textures, the way the light plays on it.
Interesting.
It's almost like you're giving your brain this mini workout.
Training your focus.
By intentionally directing your attention. And by doing that, you're strengthening your focus muscle and kind of squeezing out those distracting thoughts.
Oh, I like that. Like decluttering your mind.
Think about how much we're bombarded with stimuli these days.
Constant notifications.
Right. This tool can help you regain control of your attention and find those pockets of calm amidst all the chaos.
Like a mental reset button.
Yeah, it's almost like reclaiming your mental space, which I think is so important in today's world. Now, toward the end of the video, Dr. Karp shared this really inspiring message for young people
I'd love to hear it.
who might be struggling with learning differences or just feeling discouraged in general.
Everyone needs a little encouragement sometimes.
Absolutely. He actually spoke about his own experience as a student. He was a C&D student who was constantly told he wouldn't amount to much.
Ouch. Those labels can be so damaging.
Right, especially for young people who are still figuring things out. And he also talked about the importance of finding mentors and supportive figures. You know people who believe in you.
People who see your potential.
Even when you doubt yourself, he had this really powerful advice for young people, and honestly, I think it applies to all of us. Find that one thing you excel at, that one thing that lights you up
That makes you feel alive.
and builds your confidence. Because focusing on that strength can have this ripple effect,
Like a chain reaction.
positively impacting other areas of your life. It's like when you feel good about yourself in one area, it gives you the courage to try new things and push yourself further in other areas.
I love that. And remember, he really emphasized that things are changeable.
Yes, this is so key.
Like no matter where you are right now, you have the power to shape your future.
So to recap, we've explored some pretty incredible tools from Dr. Karp. Do new, press pause, fall in love with practice, focus beyond failure, flip the switch, and pinch your brain. And what I love about these tools is that they're so practical
They're doable.
and easy to implement. You don't need any special skills or equipment.
It's all about mindset.
Just a willingness to try something new and a belief in your own potential. It's so inspiring. You know, taking these tough experiences and turning them into these amazing tools for growth makes you realize we all have that power.
Yeah. It's like he's saying, look, I've been there, I've struggled, I've failed, but he's also learned and grown. And you can too. It's like his story is a testament to what's possible when you just embrace those challenges and believe in yourself.
Yeah. And remember what he said about diversity being a superpower. It makes you think, how can we bring more diverse perspectives into our own lives?
That's such a great question. It doesn't have to be this big, complicated thing either. Like, have you read a book by an author from a different background lately?
Yeah.
Or listened to a podcast with a viewpoint that challenges your own?
Yeah, or even just striking up a conversation with someone outside your usual circle.
Sometimes those conversations that make you a little uncomfortable are the ones that lead to the biggest breakthroughs.
Totally. It's in those moments of discomfort that we really start to grow.
You got to push yourself.
So what are you waiting for? It's time to put these life ignition tools into action. What small change can you make today to break out of your routine? To press pause and recharge? To approach practice with a sense of curiosity and joy?
Yeah.
To reframe failure as a learning opportunity? To flip the switch and make that conscious choice? To create a life you love?
And remember, we want to hear from you. What resonated with you from this deep dive? What shifts have you noticed in your own life as you've started experimenting with these tools?
Share your experiences with us. We're all on this journey of growth and discovery together.
Absolutely. We're all in this together.
Your potential is limitless. Keep learning, keep growing, keep exploring. And never forget, you have the power to create a life that is truly extraordinary.
Thank you for listening to the Wellness Lab Digest. If you receive value from the podcast, I have 3 asks of you. 1, share the show on social media with your friends and tag the show at the Wellness Lab Digest on Instagram. Number 2, please leave a rating and review in whatever app you're listening on. And last but not least, please let me know what topics you would like us to cover in the future. You can contact me at empoweringmen.org/contact. And right now we have a free ebook to get you started on your wellness journey as well. That's empoweringmen.org/contact. To support this podcast, check out our sponsors at the bottom of the page or simply click the Support the Show link.